Making your own, you figure you're going to have to replace it every once in a while. This one has been in use for about a year, and I noticed that it has like a bit of a bow in it, and it's not much, but it's enough for me to decide that it's time to just make a new one. Now, you don't have to use aluminum for this. You can just do a piece of plywood with a piece of plywood on top. If you go with that, just make sure that you start with a piece up top that's going to be really good and straight. Give you an example of what's going on with mine. Just over time, it's probably maybe a 1/16 on either side. I'm hoping that the wider piece of 2-inch aluminum is going to help me with future bowing issues. We're going to be 2 inches off. I'm going to super glue this down real quick, and then I have marked out 2 inch off the sides, and then every foot from there. I'm going to be planning on countersinking a few 6/32 screws I had laying around, and then I'm going to use nylon insert lock nuts. Those are little doodads with the plastic in them. Like I said, super glue, a couple dabs will do you, get you started. So the reason for the 2 inch is the one side of my saw is 1.5 inches, and then I'll cut the long side over here, and then the short side over here. Looking like 1/8 inch is just going to cover it for me. I don't want to make them too wide. I would very much like there not to be any play. So I'll do a tester one real quick. If I have to make it wider, I will. Quick correction off camera, 1/8 inch just isn't quite wide enough, which is fine. Alright. So the rest of them will be a little cleaner, but hopefully you can see that. Countersunk. Just gonna go ahead and change the blade. Figure might as well start fresh. Slide it real quick, just make sure you're just below the material that you're making this out of. Earlier in the video I said I was going to run the saw on the short side. I think I'm going to leave it for now. If I ever want to, I can always do it. I like the way my clamps are setting in there. Well, there you go. Let's see how we did. We've got another piece of aluminum, and looks good. Nice and tight on there. No wobbling. Quick test cut, I guess. Nice! Out with the old, in with the new. Little ditties I forgot to film. I clipped off the excess of these screws. I figured later on I don't really want to deal with any bloody knuckles. And then other than that, I sanded it a little bit. Used like 220, very light. There was just some fur coming off of it. Hey, if you're still here, thanks a lot. Got a lot of cool DIY ideas coming up. Gonna be doing some custom wings on this guy. Got Mr. Mike Dyson here. I still owe him a French cleat, and then we'll be ready to share him with the world. But either way, it'll make it more mobile for me. Game changer in a small shop. Hawk style table stuff. I make my own little dog hole doodads. Working on the truck, shelving out the van. If you're into it, subscribe. Thanks a lot. If you're still here, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Got a lot of decent DIY Definitely going to need to be wider. Little tidbits off camera that I just didn't include for whatever reason. I guess I failed to film it. I clipped the little ends of the screws off. I just didn't want like my knuckles dragging across them in the future. Sounded like shit.